Hey dolls and friends, welcome back and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're new here, my name is Amber Michon and I do weekly DIYs and hauls. If you're not new, hey doll, hey. So in today's video, I have another round of fall DIYs for you. This time I'm bringing you a neutral color scheme and I love how each of them turned out. So if you do enjoy this video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up as it definitely helps out my channel. If you're new and you love all things home decor DIY on a budget, I would love if you would consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell right next to it so you're notified every time that I upload. Also wanted to say this video is in collaboration with some really talented ladies here on YouTube. So make sure you head down to my description box below where you will find the playlist and more fall inspiration. All right, dolls, let's go ahead and jump right in. So we're going to start off with this pumpkins wood round sign. So from Dollar Tree, I have the Farmers Market calendar from this year, along with a wood round that I picked up from Amazon. And then I'm going to just use my antique wax paint and just paint the outside. So the inside, like the middle, is going to be covered. So I just really need the edges painted, and I just give it one good coat. I don't wipe it down with a rag or paper towel or anything because I actually kind of want it a little dark. So this is what it looks like after I'm done. I'm letting that dry, and then I'm going to take that Farm Fresh Pumpkins page out of that calendar and use some coffee grinds and some water. I usually try to spray this down, like if you have like a bottle spray, that would be easier just to get the entire paper wet. This sheet is actually really thick. So then I just take my coffee grinds and give this a distressed rustic kind of look and just tear off the edges. Y'all hear Isaiah? Tear off the edges. Tear off the edges and then go in the middle and just kind of scratch it up with the coffee grinds. And I really love this technique. It gets a little messy, but it's so fun to do. And I just love how this sheet turned out. This is what it looks like after I am done. And then I'm going to use some Mod Podge, put that in the middle of my wood round, and then cover the, or put the sign on top. The piece of paper on top. And then I just take a generous amount of Mod Podge again and just adhere it to the rest of my wood round on the edges and anything underneath. I just want to make sure that every inch of the paper is being covered underneath or on top with this Mod Podge so it does not go anywhere. Throughout this process, I did have some of the paper tear, but that is okay. I wasn't looking for a perfect symmetrical, like, you know, thing. I usually am, but I just wanted this to be really like rustic, really weathered, and really just kind of messy, but still looked really, really pretty. So I set it aside to dry for a couple of hours, and after it was dry, I took my finger sander and just started to sand down the edges of the paper. Now, I was also sanding some of the paint off, but I'll rectify that in a minute. But I just really wanted to take it to the edges of the paper just so I can, again, get the desired rustic farmhouse weathered look that I wanted. So once that was done, I then took my antique wax paint again and just touched up the edges of that wood round to make sure that it was darkened up. And then I also took that paintbrush and went along the paper as well. So that way it kind of blends in. It looks like it's just been sitting there for a while. And then I just kind of go through the paper as well, like back and forth on the sign. So that way I can get the older look to it, like it's been sitting there forever. And it really like helps taking like the shininess off of that paper. Then I took these half wood bead rounds and just lay them on the perimeter of this wood round and then just hot glue them down. And that is it for this one. Super, super easy, you guys. So pretty. I really love the entire color combination here. Next up, I'm making this neutral pumpkin sign from Dollar Tree. I have this Gather Here with Warm Hearts sign. It's the pumpkin that's kind of cut up into pieces. So the first thing I do is just take off that galvanized piece on the middle and then remove the glue that is on there. I was kind of going in a different direction with this one, but I made some changes. So I first used my truffle chalk paint color as well as my linen white chalk paint from Rust-Oleum. And I want to do every other color or panel, like a pumpkin panel, I guess you would say, on here. And I'm just going to leave where the galvanized sign was. I'm going to leave that blank. I tried to actually take up the paper on here because I didn't want to. I don't really like painting over like images like this because it takes so many coats, and it literally took me 3, maybe 4 coats to get everything covered. So I just have 2 panels that are white and 2 that are that truffle color. And like I said, it took me about 3 to 4 coats to get it completely covered. As that's drying, I'm going to take the galvanized sign, flip that over, and then I'm using these stickers that I got from Dollar Tree a couple weeks ago. They are new, and I'm super excited that I was able to find them. And all I'm going to do is actually just place some of the stickers on here. And I'm just placing like the greenery ones or like the wheat looking ones along with the ones that look like olives to me. You can tell me if they are or aren't. I don't know. I don't think they're blueberries. They definitely look like olives to me, but I just put them down. No form, no fashion, no rhyme or reason to it. I just kind of place them down the way that I like. And I changed my mind a couple of times with some stickers, but yeah, I just kept going until my eyes were happy with the way that it looked. And then once that was done, I just hot glued it back down in the same spot that it was in. And then I really wanted to get some texture on the top of my stem. So I have this pine cone that I got from, it was either outside or I had it in my stash. I don't know. I rarely buy pine cones because there's so many in my backyard and I just go and grab them. And what I do is just rip off the little pieces, like the pine cone pieces, and I just hot glue them onto the stem. And I love this look of it. It gives it so much texture, so much dimension, and it just adds a little bit of pop of like naturalness. I don't know, like the natural elements. I love that it adds that to it. So if that makes any sense. Anyways, I just hot glued that on there, and that's pretty much it for this one. I really love how it turned out. I love the neutral tones and the ease of creating this. Next up, we're making this super easy acorn sign. So from Dollar Tree, I have their acorns that you can get in the Crafter Square section or their seasonal section, along with this new sign. It's like a unicorn, like stand-up sign. It stands up on its own. Anyways, flipped it over, took off the staples on the back, and then cut out the twine and the clothespins that were on the front. I also tried to take off the paper on this one too, and some of it came up, but I actually just had to sand down the entire thing. And I really hate sanding down stuff from Dollar Tree, especially when it has glitter on it. But this one I had to do it because I wanted it to stand up. So this is what it looks like after I'm done. And then I'm just going to paint that using my linen white chalk paint. And then I'm going to paint 3 of the acorns using my antique wax color, and then I am going to mix my harvest orange and honeycomb colors and get like a burnt orange kind of color. So I give my sign 2 coat paints of this white chalk paint just to get a nice matte color on there. And then I paint the acorns using that antique wax color. Just give it 1 coat, and then I take a rag and wipe that down, and it gives it this most pretty like wood grain look to it. I absolutely love it. And then I just take some of my harvest orange and my honeycomb brown color, mix it up until I get the desired color like shade that I want, and then paint that over 1 acorn. Once all of that is done and it is all dry, I'm going to take 2 different twine colors. This white one is cotton twine. You can actually get this from Dollar Tree. It's in the automotive section. And I'm just making some simple bows with this. I just literally tie like I'm tying a shoelace. And I do 3 of those because those 3 are going to go on the brown acorns. And then I had that darker colored twine that I actually got from Burlap Fabric. And I was going to put that on the orange acorn, but it didn't work for me. It didn't look right. So these acorns actually come in a pack of 6 and they have twine, jute twine in there. So I used one of those pieces, and after I tied those bows, I just hot glued them down to the top where the hole is, just to cover that. And then I placed them on the front of the sign the way that I wanted, and then just hot glued them down. Super easy, you guys. So cute. Make sure you just cut down your bows, like your tails, how low or how long you want them. I love the ease of this. It was just so simple and easy to do, and just $2. Next, we are making this floral tobacco basket. So I already had this tobacco basket on hand, and I'm just repurposing it. Got it from Target's Dollar Spot. It was like a natural brown color, and I painted it. And then I'm using a bunch of florals from Dollar Tree and Walmart. So the first florals I'm using are these eucalyptus from Walmart. They are brand new to me this year, and I'm just gonna hot glue everything down. And I just cut it down from the stem and just hot glue them down in the middle, and then take some of these mums from Dollar Tree. I absolutely love using these mums for wreaths and things of that nature, like stuff like this, like a floral arrangement. I think they're so pretty because they're so full. And then I have some pine cones and some other floral picks that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and just kind of placing everything in the way that I think would look really, really pretty. And I didn't want to overdo it. I didn't want to put too much in here. I just wanted just enough for it to pop and not too much for it to cover the basket. I also had a couple of pumpkins already on hand, so I hot glued those down. Next, I have this gather word. I actually took this off of a sign that I picked up from Dollar Tree. It was in my last video. I made a completely different sign out of it, but I saved this part and I just painted that white, and then I'm just going to hot glue that to the top of the basket. And that is it for this one. So easy, so pretty, and I love this color combo. Alright dolls, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Head down to the playlist link to make sure you watch everyone else's videos. Other than that, be blessed, stay safe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!